Hi, I'm Michael from Tencent Cloud Security Team. So today I'm going to talk about the WAF. Right, the WAF solution is web application firewall. So basically, why is needed, right? So WAF is basically the appliance that will be sitting edge of the parameters of your network. It could be on the cloud, it could be on your premise, basically to secure your web application against those like commonly known attacks like SQL injections, like cross-site scripting, like remote code executions. Those are on the OWASP top 10 list. And basically, WAF is basically mandatory for those web application that has an internet access or internet facing. And apart from that, if you're a government agency, if you're a financial institute, you're definitely aware of that compliance requirement, right? So the WAF is mandatory for that. And also, if you are e-commerce operator, right, basically there's a transaction information be processed on your platform. You need to get your platform complying with the PCI DSS, and to a certain extent, WAF is also needed in order to fulfill that. And apart from that, it can help you basically perform the business data protection, because we understood that the online bots like the crawlers, scrapers, scan are so prevalent nowadays that we need something to get them blocked for those like illegitimate use. So in terms of deployment scenarios supported by Tencent Cloud WAF, it's pretty versatile, and one of them is pretty unique over here. Right, so we support the first one, the SaaS WAF. It's pretty standard. It's an inline WAF. Basically, you're going to insert the WAF in between the internet and your workload. So basically, this is where the WAF sits, right? So it's pretty intrusive, and also it adds a certain latencies like 2 to 3 milliseconds kind of latencies. And the second option is pretty unique in the market, which is the CLB WAF, right? So over here, the WAF sitting side by side with our cloud load balancer. And over here, right, it's not the WAF ingesting, basically intercepting the request anymore, right? It's actually the CLB or the cloud load balancer. So one of the benefits of having that is you can reduce the latency from the WAF, right? If you place the WAF in the path or in line, which means that the WAF will take extra time forward or redirect the traffic to the CLB, like what other cloud provider do. But for us, right, we just simply let the CLB intercept the request and do a traffic mirroring to the WAF, and then the WAF will come back with a verdict whether to block or allow it to pass. Right, so basically, it can reduce the latency pretty significantly to improve your app performance. And the third option, probably you're also aware that if you're using the CDN, right? The CDN is a solution to bring the content closer to the user to optimize the user experience significantly. And if the content or the CDN node is closer to the user, and then at that point in time, that particular CDN node needs some protection, the content needs protection as well, right? So that's why we offer the WAF to be also enabled as an option that was CDN nodes, right? So we call the WAF enabled CDN, right? So these three are the options that are available currently from Tencent Cloud, and the second one, the CLB WAF, is pretty unique to Tencent Cloud. So let's take a look at the WAF from the architectural perspective. Let's think about why we do this way, right? So now it's year 2021, right? So you are probably still thinking how we're gonna like cloudify everything, right? So for example, not just limited to the workload or containers, but also the security. Of course, you understood that previously my security solutions and my computing solutions, my Kubernetes is pretty disintegrated, right? They basically not coupled very well. And also, I don't have the full visibilities in the network. Everything is separated, isolated from one another. And in terms of the skill up, skill down, or skill out, it's pretty difficult, right? Because when I skill up, I need to purchase a bigger box. When I skill down, probably I need to throw away the original one, right? So it's pretty costly. And also in terms of the attack surface protection, it's pretty limited, right? Probably the solution I use is pretty lightweight, pretty handy. However, I mean, that is only good for protecting against those no attacks like OWASP top 10. And also, the last one, right, is the pain point for most of the client, which is the solutions never get related to the business requirement. For example, you're a security vendor, right, and the business side is asking you, hey, how can I detect a fraudulent transaction? How can I detect the user is having a malicious access into our data? from your perspective, what you can tell is TCP/IP. But from Tencent's perspective, because we have more than 20 years of doing so, we have the WeChat, we have the WeBank, we have the gaming services, right? We have the largest, the e-commerce providers in China, in Southeast Asia, right? So with all the capabilities that we have, basically over the past 10 years, we have built a very large AI and machine learning model and also the big data analytics in order to be integrated with our WAF solution. So basically, if you're getting the WAF from Tencent Cloud, right, you're not just getting a WAF from the security perspective, you're getting a holistic cloud security solutions from us, right? Because our WAF can address not just only those like technical issues or security issues, but also the business use cases over here. For example, the security analytics, the online fraud detection, so by leveraging our big data analytics, and also the integration with our cloud security platforms like the threat intelligence. And also it can prevent you from those like data breaches, and it can secure your contents by blocking those like illegitimate crawlers, scanners, scraper, and also it can get your web page tamper-proof. You will see no web pages getting defaced anymore, and also the DNS protection, right? So in terms of the core functionality of our WAF, of course, the standard rule engines that is highly effective in detecting those like no attacks, like OWASP top 10. And also we can leverage on our AI, the machine learning engine, to detect those like zero-day attack and known threats, right? And also we have the bot detection, right, in order to detect those like online scrapers, scanners, and also the crawlers, right, to basically to avoid being abused of your content. And also we can detect those like layer 7 DDoS attack, like CC attack, and also the API security. We can define the formatting of the API queries, and also whichever API query is not conforming to the standard you define, we're going to get that dropped. And also we can, of course, detect those malicious code that is embedded into the single API query and get them blocked. So in terms of deployment scenarios I mentioned earlier, right, we support the standard, the SaaS WAF, basically is the WAF inline, and also we support out-of-bound WAF, which you can significantly improve your app performance, and it's not intrusive, it's hassle-free when you implement them. And also we can enable WAF with your CDN, and also we can bring the WAF onto your private cloud, into your data center as a virtual appliance. And why we can address all those business use cases, because that the WAF is not standing alone, right? So we have a very large security footprint that can be integrated with WAF, like I mentioned earlier, the threat intelligence, the big data analytics platform that Tencent has built in the past 10 years in order to detect those like malicious user activities, those user fraudulent transactions, online fraud, right? And also we have the end-to-end SOC solutions that can perform the log analytics end-to-end, not just limited to the Tencent Cloud WAF, but also the Tencent IPS or other security solutions. And also we support the ample protection solutions, basically the cloud workflow protection to secure your Linux or Windows hosts on the cloud. And also the WAF can also trigger the anti-DDoS solution, and over here is a layer 3, layer 4 volumetric anti-DDoS solution that is also seamlessly integrated with WAF. So basically the reason you're getting the WAF from Tencent Cloud is really because of the ecosystem, right? So last but not least, I want to highlight again, right, so why you should choose our solutions. Like I mentioned earlier, one of the key highlights of a WAF solution is it can be integrated with our cloud load balancer, right? It can reduce the latency significantly, right? It's a non-intrusive, hassle-free implementation. One click of the button, you can get the WAF enabled on your existing setup with the CLB or the cloud load balancer. And also it supports the CC and the bot protection, highly effective leverage on the AI. Talking about AI, we also leverage the AI, the rule engine, to detect the zero-day attack, to reduce the false positive, false negative rate significantly. And last but not least, it's the ecosystem, it's the holistic solution that you're getting from not just WAF, but the entire Tencent Cloud security footprint. that can directly address your business pain points. So that's all for my introduction. Hope it's helpful.